I feel like I'm preaching to the choir because this looks like part of the choir. In any case, I see people approaching.
Oh, go ahead, Bill. They're late, so they'll
Well, Roberta, don't be so tough. Roberta's pretty tough. You should see at home. If I don't sit down exactly in time for dinner, there's no dessert. You understand, yeah. So, back in 2012, it's difficult to believe that, I got an email from Mary, and Mary said, have you been out to look at the cemetery recently? And I said, well, not recently. And she said, well, there's the old building, that's what used to be here, and it's falling apart. And the cemetery committee and Mary was the president at that time, cemetery committee, together with the board, they're thinking about, what should be done. Should we try to refurbish the building or think of something different? Well, sort of at the same time, I guess the cemetery committee decided that it would be just too expensive to try to refurbish this building, which was really falling apart. And so that was like the first step, and Mary said, well, would you be willing to chair a committee that would look at what would be in place of a building? And I said, okay, do we have any kind of budget for this? And she said at that time, well, the cemetery committee has about $20,000, and that was probably just enough to knock down the old building and cart away the bricks and do all of that. So anyway, she said, but we're going to have a fundraising effort, and someone has volunteered to be in charge of that. So I said, well, okay, we can pull together a committee. And so I asked Mary, would you be on the committee? And she said, sure. And then, of course, Anita's on every committee. So, well, pretty close to that. And then several other people I called, and they all said that they would be willing to serve on the committee. That included Lisa Sternlich, Alice Rubenfeld, Ruth Frassler was another person who always volunteers, and a few others. And we thought, well, this will probably be accomplished in a few months. So we went through several iterations and finally decided we needed to put in something which was appealing and would be something nice that people could sort of sit down and meditate when they came out to the cemetery to think of loved ones, and in some cases to say, well, where would I want to be buried? I mean, I'm looking out here, and what's reserved, what's not reserved. So there could be many reasons why people would come out. So we decided, well, we're going to have to go out for bids for architects to suggest what would be nice instead of what we had, which was all rubble. And so that's the rubble over there. That's what it looked like after they started to knock it down. And so we went out and got 3 proposals, and the one that we finally chose was that by Mike Roth of Straka, Roth, and Gilmore. And so we decided, okay, we'll go out and implement that. And at the same time, the Handelman family had decided that they would take over the task of fundraising. And so they started the fundraising. We had already knocked down the buildings. And then with the architect's concept adopted, that EMCO construction was chosen to do the actual building of the meditation garden. And so you can see this is just a brief evolution of how it progressed over time, and now you see what it has turned into. And the Hebrew that's inscribed, Gam Kiele Gates al Mavet Lo Ira Ra Ki Ata Imadi, and the English translation is, though I walk through the valley of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. So it's from the 23rd century. So we're standing now where the old building used to be, and the fundraising was very successful, close to $500,000. The names of those people who contributed are listed on those obelisks back there, and then people were also given the option of purchasing some stones in memory of their loved ones, and that was what you see here. So this was all dedicated after we started in 2012. In 2016, nothing happens quickly at the synagogue or probably anywhere else, but we did finish it, and we're very happy with the way it turned out and all the people who contributed. And so we don't say, please go out to the cemetery and have a good time, but we say, please enjoy the lovely surroundings. And you see that the money also paid for improving the look of the cemetery in general. The grasses were high, many of the stones were overturned. It was really quite a mess, and now it looks pretty good.